Students, welcome to the 8th session of Unit 6 from Web Technology. We have gone through many advanced things from this unit. Okay, so we are learning web services from this unit, and this unit is totally based on all new trends that are recently going on in market and will be the future of market. So all these things we are going learning in this unit actually, and from that we have covered many points as well. So this is the last session from this unit, and it is the part of advanced technology. So we'll start with advanced technology, that is Spring. Before that we have seen Bootstrap and JSF. So starting with Spring, we will see who has developed the Spring actually. So Spring was developed by Rod Johnson in 2003, and Spring framework makes the easy development of J2EE applications. So what this framework or this Spring is, the Spring framework is an application framework and inversion of control container for the Java platform. It is one of the most popular Java-based application framework, and it was developed by Rod Johnson in 2003. The Spring framework is an open source framework that we use to develop Java applications with very ease and with a rapid pace. Yes, it is a very lightweight framework, and it provides well-defined infrastructure support for developing Java applications. So, in other words, we can say that this Spring handles the infrastructure so that you can focus more on developing your application. Okay, so thing that is related to Spring is, you can say like Spring handles the infrastructure. It focuses on infrastructure so that we can focus on web development. Also, the spring spring is modular in nature, so it means that you can use the parts that you need instead of using whole of it. Okay, so only the needy things we can take for our consideration, and others can be neglected or just kept beside. Then, using Spring framework, you can build Java applications as well as web applications by using any extensions. So it can be thought as a framework of frameworks because it provides support to various frameworks such as Struts, Hibernate, Tapestry, EJB, JSF, etc. And the framework in broader sense can be defined as a structure where we find solution of various technical problems. The Spring framework comprises several modules such as IOC, AOP, DAO, context, ORM, web, that is web MVC, etc. Okay, so all these things are introductory part of Spring and Spring framework. Then there are few Spring modules. The Spring modules are just a second. The Spring modules are nothing but the that we have seen just now. The names like IOC, AOP, DAO, context, ORM, and web MVC. Okay, so this module make the Spring framework work very easily and efficiently. So we will see the models, but before that we will go through a few points like what are the framework features of Spring. Okay, so Spring framework features are including like it is very lightweight, plus the aspect oriented programming is there, then transaction management, container, dependency injection, integration with other frameworks, etc. things are making this Spring framework very effective. So as the part of advantages, we can talk about Spring, that include it is having predefined templates, plus loose coupling is there, and it is easy to test, plus it is lightweight, fast development is uh, can be maintained here, then powerful abstraction is there, plus declarative support is also there in Spring networks. Okay, so it is easy to use the part or the model that are provided by Spring. So now we'll see the modules that are defined in this Spring or Spring framework. Okay, so we can see in diagram, this is actually the Spring modules architecture, we can say. Okay, so we can say here the Spring framework runtime is given, and in that application it is made up of many modules. Here you can see there are many parts. This is the data access and integration, plus web, that can be MVC or remoting. Then AOP is also there, aspects are there, some instrumentation part is there, and Spring Core container is also there. So based on these modules, the Spring framework is working effectively. Then we will see one by one what these modules are made up for, or how they are working. So first is test. So test is the first layer which provides support of testing application using JUnit and TestNG. So this test unit provides support of testing with JUnit and TestNG. So these are the methods that are required for testing in related things with Spring module. So Spring is a modular framework actually. That means as per the requirement we can pick specific modules to develop the application. The Spring framework is made up of total number of modules like test, Spring Core container, AOP, aspect, then instrumentation, data access, integration, and web. Okay, so we can see all these things in this architectural diagram. Okay, so second part is Spring Core container. So what this Spring Core container is, this is the second layer which contains core, beans, context, and EL, that is expression language modules. So these things are making this Spring Core container for better performance. Okay. So we can say that this core part of this container, it is the module that contains basic fundamental parts of Spring framework. Okay, so and it provides the IOC and dependency injection feature. So beans as the second part, you can see it in diagram also. Okay, so the Spring Core container is here. Okay, it is the second layer. We have seen the first layer test. Now we are dealing with second layer. So second layer is Spring Core container, and here the core part is used for the basic fundamental parts of Spring Worker, and it provides IOC and dependency injection features. Okay, so the any sophisticated implementation of factory pattern called bean factory is provided by the second part, that is beans. Okay, it provides any sophisticated implementation of the factory pattern that is called as bean factory. Then the third part is context. So what this context is doing, the base created by the core and beans module helps to build the context module. Okay, so the base that is created by core and beans is nothing but context. So this context is used to access the created and configured objects, and this module supports the different features like internationalization, enterprise Java beans, JMS, basic remoting, etc. things. Okay. Then in Spring Framework, a powerful language tool for querying is given by expression language module, and it also does manipulation of an object graph at runtime execution. Okay, so that is nothing but this expression language part. So this language is used for querying and manipulating an object graph at runtime. It is an extension to expression language which is defined in Java server pages, and it is used to set and get property values plus method calling, access collections and indexers, access named variables, and retrieving objects by name. So etc. things can be achieved with this expression language or EL. Then the third layer is AOP aspects and instrumentation. So this data access and integration layer, we can say the AOP is an aspect oriented implementation of programming that is done using this AOP that allows to separate the functionality by defining method interceptors and point cuts. Okay, so the AOP is responsible for allowing the separate functionality by defining method interceptors and point cuts. The second part from the third layer is aspects. So aspects module helps to integrate with a powerful AOP framework known as aspect J. Okay, and the third part is instrumentation. So instrumentation for certain application servers, this module provides support of class instrumentation and class loader implementation. So these are the things that are used in third layer, that is AOP aspects and instrumentation layer. So and this fourth layer, or we can say the data access layer, it is having the part of JDBC, ORM, OXM, JMS and transactions. Here we can see this. Okay, so what these parts are actually in this Spring Framework and what role they are playing, that we'll see. So the JDBC is we are talking about this first part, that is JDBC. So JDBC is this module helps to avoid the complex JDBC coding by providing a JDBC abstraction layer. And the second part is ORM. So what this ORM will do, this module will provide integration layers for object relational mapping, that is ORM, and APIs including the JPA, that is Java Persistent API, plus JDO, that is Java Data Object, Hibernate and IBETIS. So all these things are monitored in the ORM, that is Object Relational Mapping. And next part is OXM, that is Object XML Mappers. So this module provides an abstraction layer which is used to give support to object of XML mapping implementation, and Java XV, that is Java Architecture for XML binding, Castor, XML Beans, JIBX and Xstream. So all these things can be uh, take support of OXM, that is Object XML Mapper. Then the next part is JMS, that is Java Messaging Service, and it provides features for generating and consuming messages. Then the fifth part of this data access or integration is the transaction. The transaction module provides management of programmatic and declarative transactions for classes, and that implements a spatial interface. Then the web. In web we can see there are MVC and remoting points. Okay, so web service portlet and struct, that we'll see. So web is the layer that consists of web MVC, web socket and web portlet. So web is module that provides various types of integration features regarding web development, like multi-part file upload, IOC container initialization and web oriented application context. Then the web MVC, that is the second part, and this module contains the MVC implementation of Spring for application development in web. Then the third part is WebSocket model. This model provides socket based support for client server two-way communication in web development. And the portlet is the module which provides model view controller implementation that can be useful in portlet environment. Okay, so all these things are used in this Spring modules or Spring modular architecture, and with the help of this Spring modular architecture, the Spring is can decide, or the user can decide which things or which modules to pick up for developing any application. Okay, so this part we have seen the theoretical part about Spring modules architecture. Okay, and the next technology that is related to Spring is dependency injection. So the technology that Spring is most identified with is the dependency injection, and it is the flavor of inversion of control. So when writing any complex Java application, the application classes should be as independent as possible of other Java classes. So this is the simple thing required. Okay, so anything like if the dependency injection is required, it is the most important technology that is provided by Spring Framework, and it is the inversion control flavor. Okay, so in development of Java application, it is important to keep the application classes independent as much as possible of other Java classes. And why this is important? Because to increase the possibility of reusability and independent testability of the classes. Okay, so using dependency injection, it is possible to integrate these classes by keeping them independent. Then in dependency injection, the word dependency means association between two classes. Okay, so what this dependency injection term is made up of, we will see. So in that, the dependency means association between any two classes. We know the word depend, right? So depend means one particular thing is dependent on the another thing. Okay, or vice versa. So that depend thing is depending or being parasite on the other thing. Okay, so same concept is dependency. So it is association between two classes, how they are becoming professionally worked modules in any application. So that is nothing but the dependency. For example, in case of two classes, the first class is dependent on second class. The word injection will indicate that the second class can be injected into first class with the help of IOC. Okay. So this thing should be managed and kept into mind. Then about dependency injection, we can also say that the dependency injection in the Spring framework is very much helpful for carrying out the communication between two classes. Okay, so these classes are helping out to just check the things and to make connection between any two applications. So the word injection will indicate that this second class can be injected into first class with the help of IOC. Okay. So these are things that are related to dependency. So these dependencies can be downloaded from Maven. Okay. Or Maven's central repository. We yesterday's session we have seen how to use that Maven command for JSF web application. So similar way you can use that commands for Spring application as well. So this was about dependency injection. Now we'll see what that AOP is. That is aspect oriented programming. So we have seen that AOP in the modular part. Okay, in the layer of data. Okay, and that AOP is nothing but aspect oriented programming. So it is one of the key component of Spring is aspect oriented programming framework, that is AOP framework. And the functions that span multiple points of an application are called cross-cutting concerns, and these cross-cutting concerns are conceptually separate from the application business logic. Now, plus there are various common good examples of aspects including logging, declarative transaction, security, caching, etc. Okay, and this AOP is also in OOPS. The modularity is based on the class concept, while in AOP it is based on the aspect. Okay, so we can see there is difference between AOP and OOP. So AOP is the thing in OOP. So the modularity is based on the class concept of dependency injection, while we can separate the application objects from each other, and AOP can separate cutting concerns from the object which are affected them. As aspect oriented implementation or programming, it is done using the AOP, which allows separate files functionality by defining method interceptors and method. Okay, so this was about the aspect oriented programming, and if we are talking about the examples that can place the hold the place for examples that are for creating any Spring application, we just need to create the class, create the XML file, and create the text class, load the Spring jar files, and run the test class. Then the examples we have seen that how to create the class, okay, and the simple application can be done via the creating simple project. Okay, so for creating class, the steps we have seen for JSF application, same steps you need to carry out. Okay, so first you need to create the class. So create the class, you need to first we will need Eclipse IDE. Okay, so with that we will create any simple Java project and we'll select the path. After that, that path can be selected from file, new, project, and from the wizard list select Java project wizard and set that name to for project as Hello Spring. Okay, then we'll add some required libraries. So that required libraries are nothing but the XML files that will be helpful for providing values. So how these XML files can be added, that we'll see after creation of Java project, that is after first class, creating class. We will now have to add some Spring framework, and for this purpose what we'll do, we'll just right click on the project Hello Spring and then go to the context menu, then build path and config, and it will display some Java build path windows, and there will be so many files opened as folders as well. Okay, so we need to add some core jar files from Spring framework, and common logging installation directories will be holding any given path. Okay, so after adding those jar files to the application, the third step will be create the XML file to provide the values. Okay, and also to create the test class will be executed after that. So creating XML files or the source files, what we'll do under our Hello Spring project, what we'll do, we will create source files. Okay, for this purpose first we will create package that will be named as mypack, and then we'll follow the path of package like package explorer session, right click on the source and new package. So now under the package mypack we will create two Java files that are hello world and main app.java. So this code content can be added to main app.java file, okay, like package, and after that we will load some jar files that we have already added in the project, and finally we will run the program. Okay, we will so things to remember about running the application are, we have to create the class, we have to create the XML files to provide the values, we need to create the test class, then we'll load the Spring jar files, and we need to run the test class. So after adding all these things, or after following all these things, we are good to go with Spring application or Spring example. So simply just in project we will add the text as ntext.getWin as hello world, so that will print that hello world message as our output. Okay, so this is about the Spring technology that comes under the category of advanced technology in web services. So this is all about unit 6, guys. We have seen from starting so many things like we have started with web services, how they are dealing with day-to-day life. Plus we have seen the overview types. Okay, client side web services we have seen, server side services also. Then we have seen MVC architecture. Okay, so how that model view and controller part are made for each application, that also we have seen. Then we have started with the uh, some technological part. We have also seen the things like in advanced technology part we have seen that BS Bootstrap, JSF, and this Spring network. Okay. Then main thing about this unit was content management system. Okay, plus that EJBs. Okay, so EJB also we have seen in deep, and examples how to add that EJB and how to execute our first EJB application, that also we have seen step by step. So we have seen all the MVC architectures that are related to things that are covered in the unit. Okay, so CMS was the main content or the core part of this unit, that also we have seen. Under that we have seen two best examples of that CMS, that were WordPress and Joomla. So how to install WordPress, that also we have seen. How to run our first web application using WordPress, that can also be done. So please revise all these things, because it is totally based on the technological things. Okay, and it is very much useful for you guys. Okay, so just prefer this video and practice yourself. If you have any queries, you can always ask me, and we'll then stop here with the unit 6. Okay, so take care and revise the things that we have covered in all the units. Okay, just thank you.